Dogs have been humanity's loyal companions for thousands of years, but have you ever stopped to wonder, what if they've been trying to tell us something all along? Something we've only barely begun to understand? Imagine this. You're sitting at home, your dog tilts its head at you, those soulful eyes locked on yours. You think, "Ah, how cute." But what if, in that moment, your dog was saying something far more profound than, "Throw the ball, human"? Welcome to the fascinating world of the secret language of dogs. Get ready, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your furry friend the same way again. Now, let's kick things off with a revelation that might just blow your mind. Dogs have their own unique language, and it's not just barks and growls. In fact, the secret language of dogs is a sophisticated combination of body signals, vocalizations, and even smells. Yes, smells. To a dog, sniffing another dog's behind is the equivalent of reading their LinkedIn profile. It's not weird, it's networking. So, the next time you see that awkward dog-to-dog sniffing moment at the park, just remember, they're exchanging more information in 5 seconds than we do during a full-blown conversation. But here's where it gets truly mind-blowing. Did you know your dog might be trying to train you as much as you're training them? Yep, every tail wag, every little paw tap, and even the way they flop down on your favorite couch is a strategic move in the canine playbook. For instance, that big, slow tail wag? It's not just a, "I'm happy" signal. It can also mean, "I'm open to interaction, but let's take this slow," kind of like when you're at a party and someone gives you a polite smile instead of a full-blown hug. Subtle, right? And let's talk about those head tilts. We've all seen it. That adorable, inquisitive angle that seems to say, "What nonsense are you spouting now?" But researchers believe the head tilt is more than just an "ah" moment. It could be your dog's way of focusing on the most important part of your speech or even gauging your emotional state. Essentially, your dog might just be better at active listening than your last date. Speaking of emotions, did you know that dogs can read your feelings better than most humans? It's not just your tone of voice, although that helps. Dogs are masters at interpreting micro-expressions. They can tell if you're happy, sad, or about to lose it over the fact that they just ate your favorite pair of shoes. And here's the kicker. They're not just observing, they're responding. That comforting nuzzle when you're down? It's not random. Your dog is actively trying to cheer you up. It's like living with your own four-legged therapist who accepts payment in belly rubs. Now, let's dig into one of the most misunderstood aspects of dog language, barking. Some people think all barking is the same, but that's like saying all music is just noise. A high-pitched, repetitive bark often means excitement or playfulness, while a low, growly bark could be a warning. And then there's the woof, a friendly, "Hey, I see you there," greeting bark. If dogs had text messages, the woof would be the equivalent of a casual sup. But here's a wild thought. What if dogs use silence as part of their language too? Think about it. When your dog is perfectly quiet, staring at you with those big, expectant eyes, they're saying volumes without making a sound. Silence can mean focus, trust, or sometimes, "I'm about to beg for your food." And let's be real, dogs are expert beggars. One look and suddenly you're sharing your pizza, wondering how you lost control of your life. Let's pivot to something equally fascinating, the tail. A wagging tail doesn't always mean a happy dog. In fact, the speed and direction of the wag can tell you a lot about what your dog is feeling. A rapid wag with the tail held high often signals excitement, while a slow, low wag might mean uncertainty. And if the tail is tucked? Well, that's your dog's way of saying, "I'm scared" or "uncomfortable." Basically, the tail is the Morse code of the dog world, and it's up to us to decode it. Now, here's where it gets personal. Your dog's secret language isn't just for other dogs, it's tailored for you. That's right. Dogs are incredible at adapting their communication style based on the human they're interacting with. For example, a dog might nudge you with their nose to say, "Hey, pay attention to me," but they might use a completely different tactic with someone else. It's like they have a personalized dictionary for every person in their life. Let's talk about scent marking. While we might not notice it much, urine and feces are like personalized billboards for dogs. They contain a wealth of information about the dog who left them, their sex, age, health, and even emotional state. When a dog sniffs a fire hydrant or a tree, they're not just relieving themselves, they're reading the local news and leaving their own updates. It's a complex system of olfactory communication that we humans can only begin to comprehend. Have you ever noticed your dog circling before lying down? This isn't just a quirky habit, it's an instinctual behavior inherited from their wild ancestors. Before domestication, dogs would circle to flatten grass or create a comfortable nest. It's a way of making their sleeping area more comfortable and secure, even if that sleeping area is your plush living room rug. Let's delve into the world of canine play bows. This distinct posture, front end lowered, rear end raised, is a universal invitation to play among dogs. It's their way of saying, "Hey, I'm just playing, don't take this seriously." It's a crucial social signal that helps prevent misunderstandings and keeps playtime fun and safe. Even puppies use play bows to initiate play with their littermates. Dogs also communicate through their eyes. A direct stare can be perceived as a challenge or a threat, especially by unfamiliar dogs. That's why it's important to avoid staring directly at a dog you don't know. Softening your gaze and looking away can help to de-escalate a potentially tense situation. Similarly, a dog's soft, relaxed eyes often indicate comfort and trust. Consider the importance of context. A single behavior can have different meanings depending on the situation. For example, a tail wag can indicate happiness, but it can also indicate excitement, nervousness, or even aggression, depending on the speed, direction, and height of the wag, as well as other accompanying body language cues. It's crucial to consider the whole picture when interpreting dog communication. Let's explore the concept of displacement behaviors. These are behaviors that dogs exhibit when they're feeling stressed, anxious, or conflicted. They might include lip licking, yawning, scratching, or shaking off even when they're not wet. These behaviors are often subtle and can be easily missed, but they're important indicators of a dog's emotional state. Dogs also use their bodies to create distance or signal discomfort. Turning their head away, avoiding eye contact, or even walking away can be their way of saying, "I need some space." It's crucial to respect these signals and give the dog the space they need to avoid escalating the situation. And let's remember that communication is a two-way street. While we're learning to understand the secret language of dogs, it's also important for us to communicate clearly with them. Using consistent hand signals, clear verbal cues, and positive reinforcement can help to bridge the communication gap and strengthen the bond we share with our canine companions. And don't even get me started on the guilty look. You know the one, ears back, eyes wide, maybe a paw raised for good measure. It's the ultimate, "I'm sorry," face. But here's the twist. Research suggests that the guilty look isn't actually a sign of guilt. Instead, it's your dog's way of appeasing you when they sense you're upset. In other words, it's less about, "I know I did something wrong," and more about, "Please don't be mad at me, I'm adorable." Before we wrap up, let's touch on the ultimate mystery. Dreams. Yes, dogs dream. If you've ever seen your pup twitching or softly barking in their sleep, you've witnessed the canine dream world in action. But what are they dreaming about? Chasing squirrels? Digging up the backyard? Or maybe, just maybe, they're dreaming about us, their weird, food-sharing, belly-rubbing human companions. So, what does all this mean? It means that every look, every wag, every sound your dog makes is part of a rich, complex language that's been evolving alongside us for thousands of years. They're not just pets, they're communicators, empathizers, and yes, even manipulators. But most importantly, they're our friends. And now that you know the secret language of dogs, maybe it's time to start listening a little closer. And hey, the next time your dog tilts its head at you, don't just say, "Aw." Say, "I'm listening." Who knows? You might just learn something extraordinary.